Welcome to Security Highlights. My name is Nathanael. I manage the information system and cybersecurity for DornerWorks. This episode, we're going to continue our discussion of cybersecurity and compliance. Back in 2017, all federal contractors were required to align with the NIST 800-171 standards. Then after industry really did not take this seriously, the DoD released the Cybersecurity Maturity Model Standard, or CMMC, further enforcing these NIST standards, along with some other specific CMMC requirements. Then just last fall, DoD released another version of CMMC, which seems to be NIST 800-171 2.0. It seems basically reemphasizing the need for aligning with those NIST 800-171 standards. There's a lot of confusion in industry about NIST 800-171 and CMMC. At DornerWorks, our approach was very proactive to these standards. And because of this and all our great teamwork in our departments across the company, we were able to align with these standards relatively quickly. Today I want to talk about how we were able to approach these standards and some practices we've learned. The first thing we did was engagement by the quality and IT departments. We wanted to work together to solve a problem. Our QA director, Gary Kirsting, was instrumental throughout this process. We established a good working relationship that helped a lot. Another thing we did was a lot of listening. We turned on every single webinar, conference, and audio clip relating to NIST 800-171 and CMMC there was to hear. The next thing we did was read. Each week, the director of QA and myself took a day or more to read together the standards of NIST 800-171. It helped having some ordered in food as well. Some of the standards are really hard to read. This information gathering steps gave us the foundation and knowledge to start asking questions from industry forums and other organizations. We found reaching out to people that were going through similar alignments helped a lot as well. We also partnered with several other organizations and created a plan to reach compliance. Then it was a matter of going through the compliance standards and seeing what we needed to do to meet those standards. This was a very time-consuming process, as you just don't what to do to comply. You also need to remember the long-term impacts of any changes that are made, and you want to think of how you can exceed those compliance requirements. Once we identified potential changes, we then had to engage our stakeholders and communicate the proposed changes or policies. We kept going through revisions of our policies and tools until we were sure we met the standards. After doing our own internal review, the last step we took was engaging a third party to check our work. We used a third-party auditor who came on site and did a comprehensive review of our systems. This was not an official review, but rather a way for us to check our systems were compliant. At this point, we're continuing to review CMMC and identify any changes we need to make to stay compliant and aligned with these standards. It is important to choose a partner that understands how to protect your data. That is why every day our DornerWorks team is employing rigorous tools, techniques, and processes to protect your data from cyber threats. The next security highlight, we will discuss some of the best practices we learned that help meet any compliance standard. For now, stay cyber safe.